Hey YouTube, it's Taki with TaqiTech. Okay, so we're almost done here with at least getting the project completed and it's running. And I've tested everything. Everything seems to be going pretty good. If you find any problems, make sure you leave them in the comments, and I'll take a look at it. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to do. Sometimes we're going to need last name, first name. Sometimes we're just going to want first names. And the interesting thing is, sometimes we may only want last names. So this is really breaking the project here, and I'm kind of wondering at this point if it should be. And I apologize if you hear the snowplows going on behind me here. We have a big snowstorm at the time of this recording. Um, you know what? I'm going to pause while they're plowing the drive here. So I'll be right back. Alright, so the plow is passed here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the cell E2 here, and I'm going to create another row here. It's going to say order, and let me just, well, I'm not going to take time out here, and what I'm going to do is change the border of it and make it look the same. I'm going to go to data validation, and what we're going to put in here is, I think we're doing custom, if I remember correctly. And we're going to do reverse. So we'll say normal, reverse, verse. We might get rid of the only. I'm going to see how this looks here. Click OK. Click out of that. Alright, something happened. It didn't work out here. Oh, we need list. Alright. I guess my coffee is wearing out here. So we got normal, reverse, first name only, last name only. And let me just see how this looks here. Yeah, so we're just going to do first name, last name. I'm going to get rid of the only part of it. And let's get rid of this only. It's kind of interesting here too. If we just do last names, who cares if they're male or female? There's no gender to a last name, so to speak. That's interesting for me to say that. My last name is Patrick, so it's a common first name, but anyway. All right, let's see here. And we'll figure out what we're going to do with that, and it's going to be like the top of the thing to do in 2.0 of the name fake name spreadsheet. We're going to get that S out of there if there's only one name, and we're going to say last name. And I'm already kind of thinking maybe I might be able to pull that off now. Let's go to the code here now that we got everything situated up here. And basically what we need to do is we need to take a look at our names module and see how that is put together here, and then we need to break it basically. So let's see here. I'm actually going to put it on. I'm going to pause the video here. I should have did this when the snowball plow driver was here. Pause it, and I'll be right back. Okay, so what I need to do here is we're going to have to change here where it says C. We're going to have to make that into a variable. So I'm probably going to make another function here that will kind of say, okay, what do we got going on? Is it going to be reverse? Is it going to be first name, last name? Is it going to be last name, first name? Or are we just going to do the names here? And then that C is going to be blank. I'm probably going to change it to D for right now. And then as we do future upgrades on this project, then we'll give it a better solution. Just because D will give me a blank, and that's all we really need there. Let's see here. So I'm going to pause it as I start writing some code. Okay, so far what I've done here is this is getting kind of messy here. It might need some refactoring. It definitely probably does need some refactoring. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it on this release or if we're going to go back and do it at some later point. And we probably will do it at some later point. So basically, what I've done here is I've declared a variable, a string variable called last part. This is going to hold the column. It's going to hold the value returned from a function called getLastName. In that function, I'm passing in the column letter that's being passed into the enter data variable. Basically, the column letter is saying, are we doing male names or are we doing female names? So it's either A or B. So either A or B are getting passed in here. The only time we are returning A or B is if it is going to be last name then first name. Otherwise, normally we're just going to return a C, and then I'm going to go in here and I'm going to hard code, and I'm going to change that, do it kind of like what we did here with column letter on our with statement and for our active sheet change, so that we're going to look at that at the last thing. For this first and last name, I'm just going to put D in there. And that's going to return D. So the only time I'm really going to need to get fancy here is if we're actually going to reverse things here. So I'm just going to pause it here, and I'm going to write some more code on how we're going to display the names when they're reversed. Okay, so I'm coding in this last part of the column name here, and I'm having issues because I try to put it all on one line. So I just wanted you guys to be able to at least see here where I'm just removing that letter C and making it into a variable so that it can be dynamic and it can change. I'm going to take this off, and hopefully we'll get rid of our error here. All right, the error is gone. It didn't like the fact that I broke it up, and that's one of the reasons why I didn't break it up to begin with when you originally wrote it. It's just one long, ugly line of code that I could probably just return with a function at some point. I have to kind of think about that as well. So now we got our end row range. I'm just going to pause it as I continue. That's hard-coded. Now let me go in here and write a little bit more of the logic to it. Okay, so here we go here. It's not the best. Definitely needs some refactoring. What I did was I declared a holder, a string variable called holder. And what that will do is it will just hold the column letter. If the column letter is not C, that means that we're not doing our normal course of action here. It's going to hold the value of the column letter, then I'm going to assign the value of last part. So this would probably be C, it would probably be like A or something like that. Put that in the column letter so that it is, I'm sorry, we'll put the last part. Look, I gotta think about this a little bit more. Hold on, just give me a second. Yeah, I know that this is sound here. We're just gonna have to run it here and let me see what I get in order. Kind of try to level it all out here. The one thing that's kind of confusing me, I just think I have to run it. I'm gonna put a stop here, and let's give it a shot here. So let's do reverse. And we'll do one male, one female name, and let's see what we get here. Reverse flash. And this is one of the things that happens when you code for a long period of time and you do a lot of codes without a break. And I'm in dire need of a break here. We're just going to run it real quick here. So we already ran last part. We got A back. So now this is saying last part is not equal to C. So now it's going in here. It's going to put the holder as A. The column letter, and this is kind of what I was trying to work through in my mind. Column letter is now going to equal A. That's what it was at the beginning, right? Yep. Okay, so maybe I did have a step here that I didn't need. And then last part is now equal A. It's still going to equal A. So we're going to have issues here because we're going to get two first names. Let's do last part equal to D. That's only going to work this time though. It's not going to work, and it's not going to give us reverse. With reverse, the column letter should be C, And last part is fine, actually. So this should be, we're just going to comment this out. And we're going to make this C, comment that out, throw it in to code here. Let's run it, see what we get. Go back to the sheet here. And we only got one name. It didn't copy and paste, it looks like. Did it get stuck somewhere? Oh, it's going back through for the female name. Okay. Now it should be completed. We don't have the comma either, so I'm going to have to throw that in as well, to either the first or last name when I make that string. So we got a little bit more of a complication here. We're going to knock this out here. I'm not sure how well I'm going to refactor it, how happy I will be with the code when it's done, but it will be running by the end of this episode. So just fasten your seatbelts. I'm going to put the video on pause here and I'm going to get to work on this. Okay, so basically I'm getting rid of the holder variable, don't need it. What I did was change the if statement to evaluate if last part is equal to column A or column B, then the column letter is going to be C. And I hope this isn't confusing, but basically the first column will be C, the second column will be A or B. Getting rid of the holder string here, do not need that. And what I'm going to do now is we're going to go in here and I'm going to add another function. It's going to be called get space. Get space. And we'll put it down here. Private function get space, and we don't need to pass anything in as string. Should we pass something in? Yeah, we're going to pass in the column name, column letter, L-E. C-O-L-L-E-T-T-E-R. Okay, why isn't this capitalizing correctly? Oh, I see. That's why you use lowercase. Let me just redo this a little bit here. We're going to lose our whole get space. Oh well, I could retype it again. Let me actually pause the video here. I don't want to make this too long for you guys. Okay, so this part of the project has stumped me as of right now, because I'm not even sure how I got it to work to begin with. Because basically the way I'm reading this here is this part right here is a string. Or is it? And with all these different quotation marks in here and floating in and out with yeah, I'm not sure what part is a formula and what's not, but I know when I try to throw in that column and it's not letting me too. I'm not sure if it's because I'm not between, and maybe I just need to use a concatenate, and maybe that's what I might end up doing here so I can remain within a formula. But we'll get that, we'll go there in a second. I just want to see if this part, if my logic here works. So let's go back here, and we did our reverse, and that seemed to work. Let's do first name, and this should just give us first names here. So all I did was just click on it, and it flipped over on us. Okay, let's try. This should only give us first names, one male, one female first name. So if last part is A or B, no, it's going to be D. So I think all we're going to actually get here is this last name. So wait. You know what, guys? I'm going to have to bring this video to an episode to a close here. So again, a loss. I thought we were so far past this. And the bad thing is I really wanted to wrap this thing up here. I guess I just got over ambitious here at the end, and I haven't really thought this out too well. So we're gonna have at least a couple more. We'll do one more video, one more episode after this. I don't think this was going to be the last one anyway. Gotta take a look at the project here, but when I take a look, when I come back with the next episode, you'll see this actually up and working. You'll see I figured everything else out. And until next time, take it easy. If you like this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, and make sure you subscribe to the channel if you like the content. Thanks a lot.